for those who breach. I'm also agreeing that where it is that you profit from the breach, that you be made to forfeit all the profits. I'm also agreeing that where it is that you have been found to have willfully breached the permits that you had in terms of what you were supposed to build against what you eventually built, I'm agreeing with the DI that you should sit out a period from which you are barred from applying for any permit in Jamaica, effectively putting your, as they say in the streets, your cheddar swing at risk, because only then will the problem be solved. Given that I know the quality of the education, the learning that happens at UTech, I can vouch for the quality of those who do the post-monitoring and the continuous evaluation. I too, like Professor Archer, think that the problem is there are not enough of them. That's my time here on Lead Story today on this Thursday. I make way for the lady Nika. She's not in black today. She's in blue with a killer pair of black heels. It's a pity you won't be able to see it, but you'll be able to hear her authoritative voice presenting the news at 7.
It's Friday, December 20, 2024. This is CVM News at noon. I'm Ramon Gordon. The Court of Appeal has ruled in favor of the government regarding the extension of Paula Llewellyn's tenure as Director of Public Prosecutions. In a decision handed down this morning, the court overturned a previous ruling by the Constitutional Court, which had deemed the extension unconstitutional. The case stems from a constitutional amendment that allowed Llewellyn, who had reached the age of 60, to continue serving as DPP. The amendment faced legal challenges from the opposition People's National Party, who argued it violated the Constitution. This latest ruling clears the way for Llewellyn's continued service and marks a significant legal victory for the government. And Coyote Satchel, who pled guilty to the kidnapping and murder of 8-year-old Daniel Rowe, will be sentenced today in the Supreme Court. At the last hearing on December 2, emotional family statements left the courtroom in tears. Coyote's lawyers have requested a reduced sentence. Will the court grant it, or will she face life in prison? We'll have the full story in our news at 7. And a 39-year-old motorcyclist has died after colliding with a cow on the New Hope Main Road. Reports are that around 3:15 a.m. the man was traveling from Negril to Little London when the crash occurred. He suffered critical injuries and was pronounced dead at the hospital. His identity has not been confirmed. And the Jamaica Eye system aimed at boosting safety and security is facing major issues following its transition from analog to digital. National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang says slow maintenance is one of the key challenges.
It is that maintenance is a problem. Since we have gone digital in the telecommunication system, nobody in the country, nobody has an effective island-wide technology maintenance system. Cayman Islands used to have the technology technicians across the island. A wire break, you fix at the same time. They have changed their entire operation, so there's no national body with a full maintenance program. And when we use the very small bodies around, we get different quality. So there's a significant number of cameras are down, and it's among the reasons why we have to go at what you call a steady pace to execute, because we have to overcome the maintenance problem.
And culture expert Dr. Sanja Nair says traditional Christmas folk forms are fading and must be saved. She's urging schools to teach their history and meaning.
Are we learning about Junkanoo in schools? No. Are we doing anything at the level of policy or, in fact, enabling environment or funding or, anything that is institutionalized in relation to Junkuno? No. And this is where the problem lies, George. I would suggest that as a nation, as a sovereign nation, what we must do is to frame our education system to produce the kind of citizens that we want.
Yes.
And those citizens are people who are going to be very firm in their identity as Jamaicans. And therefore, this would manifest in various aspects of life that we live on a daily basis in our country. So, at the level of ritual, Junkuno, we are certainly not doing anything to enable or to preserve this kind of tradition.
Yeah.
A new theatre production, Sounds from Yard, is blending digital theatre with traditional stage performance for a uniquely Jamaican experience. Generations featuring performers from different generations. The producers shared the insights into their creative process on Sunrise this morning.
When I thought about putting the cast together, I thought about, who are some of the better people within our space, locally and within the diaspora, who would be able to do this. Raoul Blaze called me. He's the one who wrote the script, actually. And he said, boy, Sharonda, all of these characters that I've been playing all this time, and, me get popular with it, and da-da-da. We want to see other people play them. I said, all right, I'm going to see the script now. And so he gave me the script, and then I went to the gentleman who you and him share last name, right? And I said to him, I said, Owen Blacker Ellis, what do you think about this script? Do you think we have a show, right? Yes. And Blacker looked one time and said, yeah, man, we have a show, And I recognize the importance then of casting somebody like a Joanne, who is also on social media, somebody like a Everaldo, who is also on social media. But they're also both traditional theatre performers.
Amid the holiday rush, business owners on Maverley's hip strip say they're struggling with slow sales. They blame poor environmental conditions and new security measures. Courtney Lewis has that story.
The Maverley community, once known for its high rate of crime, is apparently undergoing a transformation as residents are changing the narrative with their bustling business community. But there are some mixed feelings this holiday season as infrastructure developments and a lack of permits are seemingly impacting sales.
It's slow. When I say slow, it's a snail. Not at all. Now go on right now.
Business really gone down, and then you have like the Maverley Park that's kind of stopped the business because it's park full of bushes, as you can see, and persons are afraid to come through the park. And most of my customers used to come from the park back and forth, and it's very slow.
The residents blame the economic downturn on the overgrown Maverley Park, or what's left of the former flower garden, with less foot traffic and fear of crime producers coming to the fore.
Be a bush, afraid for walk through there and something, because over there I have no light, and robbery and something, rape can go, anything can happen. So when it touch certain times, like with a lock a little bit later, we have to lock early now because we have to try to reach home before the park get dark up. You understand?
It was so nice when I used to go and I go play domino, clean park. And finally take it over so them fix it, then start it and stop it at that stage. So a pure bush in a pure big tree and bush. We can't even walk through it when night come.
Right now, it need to clear out or fix up or finish. Because them started fence round, but they don't finish it. And anybody cannot pass up that way, anybody just rush out and do what they want to do with them.
The park was set to be remodeled in 2022, but after added fencing and tree planting in the park, no further work has been done. But that's not all. Some residents report businesses swell this season, but are dissatisfied by the lack of event permits, despite a decrease in crime.
Business up, can't complain.
It's all right, but can pick up more better because the place I need a little curfew, like nothing now keep, so things have to keep so people can buy clothes to go party and not really keep because them not giving a permit or nothing for the area.
So far, we have no violence. It's not here. May other place not here. So far, the community is going good. The unity is good right around here. And while we have that freedom, then business will be greater than it is now.
The residents are now holding on to hope that their political representatives will boost their money-making efforts and pick up the pace on developing their once-loved community green space. Courtney Lewis for CVM News.
Good news for the environment. Change is on the way as the government has raised fines under the Wildlife Protection Act and the Natural Resources Conservation Authority Act. This move comes after years of advocacy. Trisha Kelly has the details. We'll have it right after this break, actually. See you real soon.
That you are the legal owner of your property? Take action to secure your property ownership. Get a registered certificate of title and become the legal owner of your property. To register your property and obtain a certificate of title, you will need to provide a tax registration number (TRN), a valid government-issued identification, a survey diagram, documentation to prove ownership, up-to-date property tax certificate, the names, addresses, and occupations of 2 neighbors over the age of 50 who are not family members and can give a declaration on your behalf, proof that you have been in open, undisturbed, and undisputed possession of the property for 12 years or more. For further information on registering your property and obtaining a certificate of title, contact the National Land Agency at 876-750-5263 or 876-946-5263. Email asknla@nla.gov.jm or message us at WhatsApp at 876-418-5089. The National Land Agency. One agency, one goal to serve you better.
Hi Jamaica, my name is Fredrine Simpson, Public Relations Officer, and I am Monique Bowen, Media Student. On behalf of our Distinction College family, we would like to thank the entire Jamaica for making us the #1 City and Guilds ABE and CSET private training provider in Jamaica.
We offer over 70 vocational, professional, and academic programs.
Start online and face-to-face classes in
geriatric, pediatric, psychiatric, and practical nursing, early childhood, childcare, phlebotomy, pharmacy, and medical lab technician,
housekeeping, food preparation, waitering, bartending, travel tourism, plumbing, motor vehicle, electrical installation, AC, cosmetology, security,
customer service receptionist, supervisory, project, HR, and business management, CSEC, CAPE, and many more.
Registered for any program and get City and Girls Math and English classes for free.
Visit us in Kingston, Spanish Town, St. Elizabeth, Ocherias.
Call us 356-4167.
Happy holidays and a prosperous new year.
This Christmas, wake up to a dream bedroom. Spend $30,000 or more at Singer November 15 to December 31 and get a chance to win a complete bedroom makeover absolutely free. But that's not all. 2 lucky winners will win a 4-day family vacation for 4 at an all-inclusive hotel. Singer makes Christmas unforgettable with 4 months for cash and 9 months no interest. Visit Singer today and live in style this Christmas. Must be 18 years or older to enter. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting Gaming Law.
Welcome back. You're watching CVM News at noon, and we kick things off with some good news for the environment, where the government has increased fines for penalties under the Wildlife Protection Act and the National Authorities Resources Act. We have more details from Trisha Kelly.
For years, environmental advocates have voiced one common request: stricter penalties for companies that breach environmental laws. These laws include the Wildlife Protection Act as well as the Natural Resources Conservation Authority Act. At least 2 experts expressed concern with the fines under each act as recently as 9 months ago.
Right now, the private sector has the upper hand. They can pollute and damage the environment and get away with it.
What are they getting? A slap on the wrist? $50,000 or $100,000 under the NRCA Act or the Wildlife Protection Act? It's not adequate. If we were supposed to adequately enforce existing laws, I believe we'd be in a much better position with respect to our environment.
And it seems their calls for stricter penalties were heard, since the fines under both acts have been amended from mere thousands of Jamaican dollars to millions. It was only fitting that we revisited CEO at Jamaica Environment Trust, Dr. Theresa Rodriguez Moody, to hear the advocate's view on the increase.
We are aware that the amendments to both the NRCA Act and the Wildlife Protection Act was tabled before Parliament. And yes, there are significant improvements in the fines. And this is a really good thing. It's something that we've been calling for over 10 years, I believe.
The fines range from the lowest $1 million or 6 months in prison up to $5 million or 5 years in prison, with the deterrence averaging $3 million or 3 years in prison. Dr. Rodriguez Moody says, however, they await improved enforcement of the acts.
This is not fully through the gate, right? So it has been tabled, but there are a couple more steps to be taken before it is approved. A couple of the things that we are pleased with is that now body corporate is specifically included. This wasn't there before. And so on top of the fact that fines are higher, body corporate is now specifically allowed, and you can go all the way to circuit court.
The expert has listed this a step in the right direction. Trisha Gay Kelly, CVM News.
And Manchester residents can breathe a sigh of relief this Christmas as police have intensified safety measures ahead of the holidays. In a major operation in Porus, 9 people have been detained so far. Shante McNeil has those details.
Manchester police are stepping up their fight against crime with a major operation in Porus Thursday morning. 9 individuals were detained during the operation, led by the division's commanding officer, Deputy Superintendent of Police Kerry Duncan, as the police intensify efforts to restore calm to the area. This crackdown comes in the wake of a double murder and threats aimed at the Porus police station following the fatal shooting of a murder suspect, only known as Bagalos. DSP Duncan confirmed that these threats are being taken seriously and efforts to track down the source are ongoing.
As a JCF, we take all threats seriously, and we have been looking for the person who made that video. So going into the Christmas season, I know that there is a concern about commerce and other activities within the space. We have to take a broader look at the safety and security, and as such, we have applied for and been granted to conduct curfews within this space.
Duncan says he's, however, considering a reimposition of the curfews to be lifted on Thursday evening by the weekend. He says the intention is to have them in place until crimes are controlled in the area. Residents, shaken by recent events, have raised safety concerns. Duncan is, however, assuring that the operation is designed to address these fears.
Looking for some persons within the space that we believe are influencing the violence in the space. Some we understand are still here, and some have migrated from the space. So I just want to take this opportunity to reach out to the good citizens, the good residents of the greater Porus area, right, to just partner with us, right, because our effort is really to ensure their own safety and security.
So far this year, 210 major crimes have been recorded in Manchester, including murders, shootings, robberies, rapes, among others. The Manchester police say they remain resolute in their mission to curb the rising tide of violence. Shante McNeil, CVM News.
And a major boycott against a major company may be brewing. Trisha Gay Kelly has the details of this growing controversy. And moving now to international news, we hear the details from Al Jazeera.
It would seem like the most basic job for any legislature, decide on how much money to spend and on what. The U.S. Congress doesn't often pass full budgets, instead voting on continuing resolutions, basically keeping the same funding for a few months at a time. Republicans and Democrats had a deal to do just that, plus spend $100 billion to help those impacted by recent hurricanes and give an additional $10 billion in aid to farmers. But then billionaire Elon Musk stepped in, posting more than 150 times on his social media site X, demanding Republicans kill the deal.
It's a total dumpster fire. I think it's garbage. This is what Washington, D.C. has done. This is why I ran for Congress, to try to stop this.
And incoming President Donald Trump agreed, threatening House Speaker Mike Johnson's job if he didn't drop the agreement, demanding they also raise the debt limit, which will expire early next year, so that it would appear Joe Biden raised the deficit, not him. In a sign that Trump has total control over his party, Republicans agreed. It appears they will now strip out all of the provisions that they agreed to give the Democrats and suspend the debt limit for 2 years. But throwing the government into chaos may be a sign of what's coming to the Capitol for the next 4 years.
Stay with us. More news after this.
Cycling partners of Jamaica. Yeah, we got to make a change, and we have to do it now, can't wait for later. We put plastic in its place, and we all can agree that will be safer than in the gullies and in the drains. Recycling partners of Jamaica, we put plastic in its place. Yeah, the place of it clean. PET, the top of the ethylene. HDPE, buckle of it get strained. Baby to granny, everybody roping. Yeah, we got to go green, you know what I mean. See the sign from the bin, if we drop it in, true car window you flick, that another thing. And we don't want no garbage in this game. No, we and the little bug, them are not the same. So listen up, Jamaica, I'm saying it's time.